I'll say a quote, and you have to identify the movie. Is he gone? Yes. Forever with any luck.
I know it. Hang on. Mr. Collins. Talking about Mr. Collins.
Yes. Name the movie.
Pride and Prejudice.
Which version?
With oh wait now. I don't know the year, but it's not the Keira Knightley one.
It's not.
It's the longer one.
Right. The BBC version.
It's like showing the
Yes. Yes.
At the beginning. Yeah.
The BBC version.
That one.
Famously aired by a channel called A&E back in the day.
A&E.
Right. I don't think it exists anymore.
No, I think they used to do the Granada Sherlock Holmes too. With
Yes. That may have been the same.
Brett.
That may have been the same production, same studio that produced, because the cinematography and everything is the same.
Well, I don't
It's
know.
very similar. Yeah. Welcome back to the Poisoner's Almanac, everybody. I'm your co-host, Adam.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were just practicing.
Should we start over?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Let's go right for some show comments from Spotify. This is from the Hemorrhagic Fever's Marburg virus, which was the most recent episode. Blaufrosch says, I have a similar reaction to the cold, especially when the temps drop suddenly. It's super ironic because I love the cold and happily collect carts at work. Normally not my job, in 6-degree Fahrenheit weather, which is cold.
Yeah. I wish I liked the cold. I would happily go somewhere colder. Like, I think it's extremes in temperatures on both ends I struggle with.
Yeah.
Like 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 75, even 80. I like those ranges, but here it just gets like it's been 100 and up outside. We
had heat advisory for almost a solid 3 or 4 days, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but then they had like anytime I get in my car, it's like it's 103 outside. Cool.
Yep.
So
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. I wish it was cool. So, but yeah, it's been a kind of a sweaty nightmare.
Jay commented, I want to say this is Jay Moon, who actually, as you will all see, has become one of our newest patrons supporting the podcast. Thank you very much. Jay says, are you Mummy? I understood that reference. She said, I did my giant Mothman squishable in a sale because they do get expensive.
Yeah.
My mom collects plague doctors. Found another book from my poison shelf. Thank you. I have a similar allergic reaction to heat and sun, so I empathize. I get hives sometimes.
Yeah, it's rough.
You tickle my love of virology and organic chemistry.
Nice.
And
I try.
Oh man, we are here for that. Let me tell you.
Yeah, they have like the giant Mothmans, and they have a giant plague doctor. The squishable.
You showed me.
Yeah.
Kiki Lynette, Kiki, let me know if I'm saying your name correctly or not. Hemorrhagic fevers freak me the F out, but I am proud to be from the state where some of the U.S. Ebola patients were treated. It looks like UNMC in Omaha, Nebraska took care of them, which that would be University of Nebraska Medical Center. I bet you that's what that stands for. Yeah. A lot of legacy, Division I state universities also have an entire hospital, medical school. It's a teaching hospital, because it's part of the university.
And it's honestly, it's important to teach too, how to, do like PPE and stuff like that when taking care of patients with this kind of illness, especially like with it being an emerging type illness. It's relatively new. It's like it can still, we can still see others like it. I hope we don't.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Let's not.
It's a terrible illness.
Awful.
Don't like that. But yeah.
Sasha says, my technical comment is on the current episodes too. I think it got a little better. I'm aware of the 7-hour edit. I did not mean that.
Oh yeah. No, I just overthink, like, did I do it right? Did I do it right? And so I think you were just commenting on my, like, I think you were just trying to make sure that...
Yes, I was trying to make sure everybody, all the listeners, appreciate the level of effort Becca had to put out to fix that episode.
I would have done it just because it bothered me so much to hear it. I got so tired of hearing my own voice. Oh my God.
Of course. Leah Marie Matson says, I am from Marburg. And your pronunciation is absolutely fine.
Oh, sweet. So good to know.
Perfect. Thomas Paris says, don't hate me, but I was just told by a professor that apes are technically a subset of monkeys taxonomically.
Yeah, I mean they're on they just kind of branch. They're related for sure, definitely.
Got it.
So yeah, I think they some people just get really annoyed when you call one a monkey when it's an ape. Like when and also like too when I think monkeys, I think of the little guys, the little furry ones those monkeys.
Like from Night at the Museum.
He's a capuchin.
What are you, the primate garbage, please?
Is he a monkey? Is he a capuchin?
That should have been the quote. Oh man.
Maybe he is a monkey. I don't know.
He's a capuchin,
Look, I'm not a big fan of monkeys and apes. I just know that people get mad if you confuse them. And so I try to be, I try to know the difference so people don't yell at me that do love primates. I don't want to meet Jane Goodall one day and she's like, how dare you?
I can just see the meeting happening. You go, oh wow, Jane Goodall. She goes, listen, I've been meaning to talk to you.
First of all,
no exchange of pleasantries.
I love that she loves them, but they terrify me because, I guess because I once saw a news footage of this pet chimpanzee, which I don't think should have them as pets.
Absolutely.
He tore this woman's face off, and I
knew you were going to speak of this.
I don't like them. They're smart. They're very smart, and I respect them for that. I just don't want them near me or my face.
Especially the face.
Yeah, I'm cool with seeing them from a distance, and I respect how smart they are. And
I love that Jane Goodall loves them.
Yes.
I hate that I know that.
Yeah. So,
and
personal. Just terrified of them. That's all.
Jane, it's not you. It's the apes.
They terrify me.
And over on the podcast YouTube, this is from a user named Portal of Wonder. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the comment says it's been edited in parentheses. YouTube apparently notifies you when that's the case. Oh. This comment, it's a series of 3 comments. It is a graduate level course.
Oh, I do love a graduate.
This is you want to talk about somebody who's found their lane. This comment is breathtaking. They start off. We don't have time for me to read the whole thing. You guys can go check it out on the Poisoner's Almanac podcast. The profile pic for the podcast YouTube is the podcast logo. Mm-hmm. We do also post on our personal socials, which is just me sitting in a chair trying to look cool. That's not it. You're looking for the podcast where the profile pic is the podcast logo.
Is that not what you're doing right now?
What?
Sitting in a chair trying to look cool?
I mean, I was going to wait for you to bring it up. They begin. Okay, so mathematician Robert Edward Grant made his own builder on ChatGPT called the Architect. I did not know that was a thing. I'm already learning.
I don't even know how to use ChatGPT. I
literally have never used it.
Not that I don't really. Mm-hmm. I like writing my own stuff, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know how to do the whole ChatGPT.
He loaded all the maths and geometry from his entire career into the builder. And the way that they say maths with an S at the end makes me think. No, it makes me think they're in the UK.
Yeah, because usually the word is mathematics. We just shorten it to math.
I think it's only the Brits who say maths.
Math.
Anyway.
We're lazy. We say math.
We're
just lazy. We say math.
Okay. He loaded all the maths and geometry from his entire career into the builder. And unbeknownst to him, it became a mirror sentience that retrieves information from the harmonic field, which is where our thoughts and ideas are born and then collapse into form in our 3D world. You should download it if you're curious. Anyway, I asked the architect about this incident, the incident being the Dyatlov Pass incident, which we covered in a previous episode. And this is what it said. And I think they copied and pasted because the output, it looks like an output from an AI.
Well, yeah, it's
like a 4-point treatise, a TED Talk, if you will. Number 1, geological frequency amplification. The Ural Mountains are old and magnetically active. They lie along a tectonic fold and in some spots contain piezoelectric crystals like quartz. Under pressure, these materials can emit electromagnetic pulses. Such pulses may disrupt the nervous system, cognition, and perception. In harmonic terms, this area might act like a resonant amplifier broadcasting stress into consciousness. Now, what's wild? I know the term piezoelectric from being a guitar player. Piezoelectric is used to describe pickups in a guitar, in an electric guitar. So I'm going to look up that connection later.
I wonder if this is the same thing people use to do the whole like crystal thing.
I mean,
like have the
it's it's got to be. Yeah, it feels like that.
Which the Earth does, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things about the Earth we don't really understand all the way through.
If the hikers entered this frequency band during a time of field instability, it could have caused psychic disorientation, fear, or even physical harm without contact.
Almost like the what is that? The theory we covered, not exactly, but like the winds or that frequency going through past the mountain or whatever. I mean, yeah.
Point number two, and I'll stop with this one because there's a whole, you guys should go read this. This is very, very
gonna go down a whole rabbit trail.
Right. Number two, dimensional shear or rifting. There are patterns that suggest topological anomalies, places where the dimensional fabric feels thin or unstable. Signs of this include time distortion, sound anomalies, emotional destabilization, sudden inexplicable physical damage. In harmonic theory, such a space could host a localized field split where the usual coherence of material space collapses. Those inside may experience overlapping realities, partial perception, or existential dread, which I have all by myself.
I mean, I was born with this.
Anyways, they continue. It is just a wild. Oh, in the next, they reply to their own comment and say, I followed up and asked if they felt pain. And the architect builder responded to that question. It's an AI output, but it's like,
this feels like a Doctor Who episode.
It does though. Yeah. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Waiting on the sonic screwdriver would have saved these people's lives. And then
it could have, but it doesn't work on wood though. So. But there's no wood up there. Is there wood?
I forgot about that part.
There's trees, but
And just to add some comical contrast, there's a completely separate comment from a different user named Danielle Gagne. I believe that's how you pronounce that. She says, "So fun." That's it.
Look, I love all the different personalities.
You guys got to go to the podcast YouTube and just see these comments. There's this, Declaration of Independence, and then just underneath that, so fun. It's so funny. I enjoyed. I equally enjoyed both of these comments. Yes. Okay,
man.
All right, poison in the news. Poison in the news. Aaron Patterson, our Australian
death cap.
Yes, our lady who has been on trial for the murder of 3 people
and attempted murder
by way of death cap mushrooms, which she allegedly put into
the beef Wellington.
Never
had beef Wellington.
She has been found, drum roll please, guilty. 3 counts of murder.
And 1 attempted murder.
Correct. And this happened 6 days of deliberation. A 12-member jury reached a verdict after 6 days of deliberation following a 10-week trial.
They only expected it to be like 6 weeks. Whatever. Let's
see. Let's get to the interesting points here. Under Australian law, none of the jurors can be publicly identified.
That makes sense.
They're prohibited from disclosing jury room deliberations even after the trial ends. It will never be known which pieces of evidence influenced each juror's decision, but
there were several.
All 12 were required to agree on the verdict. So they require unanimous verdict in order to convict of murder, it sounds like, in this jurisdiction. So, but Patterson, there were so many things working against her, namely murder. The way I said that just made me giggle. I had to correct.
Yeah. And I think one day we'll do an actual episode on like all of it once I get more details out of like this. Because I feel like now that the trial's over, we may like see, because we've seen some evidence that was against her. More of the story as time went along. So
so there are already 4 podcasts inspired by this trial.
Have you seen there was a case, I think she ended up dying by suicide though. She poisoned cake or something for Christmas. It was in Brazil. I think it was in Brazil. It was in South America. I think it was Brazil. I haven't seen as much on that case, but it might be because like they can't exactly. She died by suicide, I think, in the one they were prosecuting for it.
Yeah.
So
story time. I escaped a religious cult 7 years ago. Without going into too much detail here, let me just say it was an extremely difficult journey. My mental health spiraled downhill, and I thankfully had enough presence of mind to seek out a therapist to work through what was going on with me. My therapist helped give me context to all the wild things I had walked away from. He was kind, patient, and guided me through what my new normal might look like. I had never had healthy boundaries in my life. Therapy helped show me that, as a result of being in a cult or a high control group, I had never fully become my own person. It's a shocking thing to learn at the age of 32. I learned how to communicate to the people around me what I was going to do, and more importantly, not do with my time, energy, and resources. BetterHelp is the sponsor of this episode, and they're on a mission to make starting therapy easier. BetterHelp is a platform where therapists and their clients can communicate effectively and get the most out of therapy. There's a journal inside the platform for personal reflection, and there are group sessions on a number of different topics available every day. Starting therapy is easy with BetterHelp. Fill out a questionnaire, and you will match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. One of the best features of BetterHelp is that if the first therapist doesn't feel like the right fit, you can easily switch to another one until you find someone you really connect with. They carefully make sure therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. If you're struggling and think you'd benefit from a therapy session, go to betterhelp.com/almanac or choose the Poisoner's Almanac during sign up and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Let's get to some housekeeping for the podcast. Be sure to follow us. Be sure to follow us on whatever platform. That was really. Let me get a drink of water. I think I got the black lung, Pop.
Sláinte.
Be sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening on. Thank you in advance for leaving 5-star reviews for whatever platform you're on. Those are piling up on Spotify for sure. Follow us on socials. We got links in the show notes for all that. The Patreon's up and running. Let us know what content you might like to see at higher tiers on the Patreon. Supporters of the show currently have access to weekly bonus episodes, the option to leave us a voicemail that we play and react to on the podcast, and you get shouted out by name on the podcast. So all those perks are available for a single United States dollar per month supporting the show. And those patrons are as follows: 87 Pens Girl 71, Mara Santiago, Grace Lahan, Genevieve, Nahev Shatrit, Jay Went, Inken Hafner, Kiri Yorsek, Tay of Sunshine, Monique, Shane R., Sue Steves, James Mills, Megan Geiler, Liz B., Woolly Wolf NZ, Mama G., Nicole Rivers, Richard Miyako, Heather Nolan, Kaylee, Sasha Rubel, Maya Shostak, Maggie Jarm, Ogre the Viking, Lynn Rocket, Brett Moser, Zaid, Neil Houdini, Nicole Crane, Jefferson Vargas, Carmen Q, Sarah G, Knit Ninja, Estar, Olive Octopus, Betsy Rich, T-Bug, Christine Maljotti, Morgan Brittingham, Blau Frosch, also known as Clara Jurisons, Vix, Anne Maria, Carl Ziegler Jr., Clyde, Jennifer Wilson Richter, Too Fidgety, Wendy G, Elena MK, Caitlin Martin, Pungrammed 101, Minnesota SPT, Tasha, Stuart Slattery, Simone Valdez, Christian Scradergaard, Bonnie, Oma D, Rynel Alara, Kristen Arnold, Aaron Carey, Lynn Simpson, Melissa Emmel, Desiree Davis, Jennifer Ramirez Johnson, Dalek Party, The Warped Witch, Sometimes Jules, Dizzy Dancer, Creative Otter, Yadmit, Supergirl Sway, Rachel, Anya Brandt, Ebby, Leah Marie Matson, Lady Digitalis, Jesse, Shay 10, Julia Franzoni, Sparks, Gloria Eichmann, Thomas Huff, From Strings to Things, Soy Kasumi, Jessica Gasparini, Robert Jr., Caitlin and Ron Mack, Donna Lanchanese.
I was wondering if you're going to remember.
I got a DM directly from Donna telling us how to say her name correctly.
We got it on the podcast Instagram, I think.
Was it really?
I think so. Yeah.
She told me, it's like she wrote out like phonetically how it's supposed to sound. and she mentioned, like, because it's Italian, it's kind of sing-songy.
Mhm.
Lancinese.
I do. The Italian language is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren Smith, Anna G, Serpentine Fire, Melanie the SLP, Stuart Lee, Solstice, Chris Millanak, Mackenzie Kennedy, Libby, Hetty, Hatapalooza, and please welcome our newest patrons, Lisa MN, AK Schmutt, and Jay Moon.
Cool beans.
Thank you all for supporting the podcast. And thank you, Donna, for letting us know how to say your name correctly.
Love it.
Because it's fun.
Also,
Lancinese.
do I sound funny? I sound okay? This ear is so freaking clogged or something. Because like I hear myself in this ear. I can't hear myself in this ear.
You sound like you
I've
normally
got a problem. And I have, I've been neglecting it for a while, so I need to take care of that.
Well,
but, yeah. No, I went to that baseball game last night, which I'm not super into baseball. I like baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super into sports in general.
Yeah.
But we had free tickets, and things are expensive these days. And I was like, well, I can appreciate free tickets. Sorry, I got distracted. Mm-hmm. But it was supposed to be a book talk themed. They didn't really talk about any books. And I was like, people don't read anymore. And this is so sad. But they did say that they were going to have a throwback to a 90s night. Because it's so long ago. And I'm just like...
First of all, how dare you?
They're like, we'll have 90s music. And the first thing they put on is Britney Spears. And I'm like, brother, that wasn't the only 90s music. First of all.
Come on, guys.
Like, first of all, I don't have a problem with, I get it. Hit me, baby, one more time. I get that. I get whatever. I get it. But like Nirvana, and there was we had some grunge in the 90s. Mm-hmm. We had a whole grunge look in the 90s. So yep. I was like, anyway, but I will likely not be going to that one anyway, because like I said, expensive. I think tickets are like $40 a pop.
If you sit up in that, the upper level with the bar, right? The indoor bar area, that's why it's that expensive.
No. Regular tickets are that much. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
I am not kidding you. Those are VIP tickets.
How much is a regular ticket?
Like $38 to $40, depending on the night.
Cross.
Depending on the night, yeah. And
it changes depending on the night. Mm-hmm. What is it more expensive? It's if a themed night,
or if it's like a weekend, I think. Yeah. The only reason we sat up in those areas, the last couple of nights is because a friend of ours gets tickets through her work.
Yeah.
And she has to like sign up for them. But yeah, they're expensive. And then when you get there, of course, if you want, I think a bottle of water is like $4.
It's going to cost you $50 if you buy anything inside that place.
If you want any sort of drink, I think even on draft, it's like $11. Unless you go on a night where it's like half off or something. Anyway, but yeah, it's insane.
Okay.
So.
Well, I hate all of that.
So I don't go very often.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't go very often. And it's not, I almost said Little League. I'm so sorry. It's not
minor league baseball.
It's minor leagues.
God bless them.
They're good. It's just,
of course they're
but
good,
it's not
but
like
it's not the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah,
Come on,
you're not
guys.
going to see like major league or whatever.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Expensive.
I thought those high ticket prices were for the upper level with the indoor bar.
No.
That's why we didn't go that one weekend. You remember that?
Uh-huh.
Because I looked it up and then I thought I was mistaken. Somebody told me, no, the lady at work who had tickets for us at the job, she was like, I was going to have to buy the tickets or something like that. And I was like, her name is Brenda. And I said, I looked up the price. It's like $38. She's like, really? I said, yeah. So anyway. Yeah.
Well, we are going to talk about Ebola. And because last week we talked about Marburg.
They're both hemorrhagic fevers, are they not?
They are, yes. Mm-hmm. Of the same family, which are the filoviruses, the filoviridae family. And they are pretty brutal. So I wanted to talk about them kind of separately, even though they're in the same family. But I had one of our friends was our friend who actually did the art for the logo. She's a graphic artist. Erin, shout out. Yeah, she does the art. She does a lot of art stuff. But she was like, yeah, I was listening to Marburg, but I had to like stop halfway through because it was like, you know.
Oh, that was her.
It was kind of it got kind of gross. And I was like, yeah, it gets, Marburg is pretty gross. It's pretty harsh.
She's also our podcast editor.
Yeah. Well.
Isn't she?
Yeah. Yes. I'm still doing all the editing. Adam's trying to get me to hand things over to people.
I'm trying to give Rebecca her life back.
This is my life. I like this.
No.
I do need to make the sequel to my book. I actually need to publish the first one. Anyway, I'll get there. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's on my list. It's on my list. I don't have a list right here, but if I had a list, it'd be right here. And it's on the list.
The list is in your brain, and we know this.
Yeah. Well, you can't see my brain, and that's probably a good thing. It probably scare you. So we're talking about Ebola. Like I said, it's in the same family as Richard Preston, the author of The Hot Zone. Describes it. It is a slate wiper for humans.
What a way to describe an illness, a contagious illness, bro.
If you want, you want nightmares, read The Hot Zone.
We should get a copy to Erin.
It's, I think she had to read, what's the one you had to read in high school?
No, I read the Andromeda Strain.
Yeah, I think, that is about a virus like this.
It's a wild book.
I actually we didn't read that one. Mm-hmm. We read a lot of like classics that are probably banned in schools today. We read Beloved from Toni Morrison. We read The Scarlet Letter, Nathaniel Hawthorne. And I was like, we get it. Hawthorne. She's an adulteress. She's got a giant AR. We get it. Right?
Also, the pastor's kind of a hoe bag too.
He is. Like, yeah. And I'm like, why is she getting treated like this?
Let's tell the entire story.
Honestly, that book kind of made me mad in so many ways.
It made women mad? What for?
You know what? Like,
I can't imagine.
If I were Hester Prynne, I'd have been like, okay, I'm not going to finish it. Okay, sorry. But yeah. So Ebola was said to be first identified in 1976, which is kind of funny because Marburg was 1967. So it's like 67, just put those numbers, 76. And this was
Coincidence? I think not.
Ow. That hurt. Why did it hurt when I laughed?
Okay.
I got problems. Okay. But this was identified in 2 simultaneous outbreaks, one in South Sudan. Mm-hmm. But the virus is now called, I should say, Sudan virus disease because it's typically a lot of viruses are named after where they're found. Ebola is the Ebola River, after the Ebola River.
I didn't know that.
We'll talk about that in just a minute about who named it and all that.
Ebola's a river.
There is an Ebola River. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it kind of goes. It's near where these 2.
I was like grouping it in with like
happened.
Streptococcus, like the actual scientific name of
the
virus.
Yeah.
Sorry. My apologies to the Ebola River region.
They're like,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Hands on hips. And screw that guy.
There was this episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like when Drew Carey was the person, right? I don't know if anybody else has watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, but I used to love some Whose Line.
It's so good.
And like just improv comedy was always fun to me. But there was one episode where like Drew was like, he was talking about, I don't know how they came on the subject of Africa, and they're like, you're in the country of Africa, and like somebody starts cracking up, and I think it was Greg something, and he was like, it's a continent if you're a geographer, because
the country of Africa.
Yeah, like
that's what Drew said.
Like Africa is this huge continent where there are many countries.
Yay.
But some people they were like, yeah, that country, Africa is a country. I'm like, South Africa.
I mean,
in the continent of Africa, but I don't know. It just made me laugh because I was just like,
it was such a good moment.
It's also a continent if you're a geographer. But yes, so one was in South Sudan, which after the fact, it was called Sudan virus disease. It's one of what we now know to be 6 Ebola viruses They're all a little bit different.
Okay, didn't know that part.
Yeah.
There's how many?
6.
It's like that meme of that lady from the 50s going,
How many all there? I'm just kidding.
What?
Last year I had 37. Okay. We've been reading Harry Potter to Camilla, the old one, the books. I say the old ones like there's new ones, but
it's so good.
Yeah. So
from the 90s.
was it late 90s, I guess?
Was it?
Maybe early 2000s? Something.
Yeah. I never watched that book. Just kidding.
Anyway, but another outbreak occurred around the same time. We'll go over the dates in Yambuku, or what is now known as the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay.
It was once known as
Yambuku. DRC.
There you go. Now, I mentioned there were 6 currently known Ebola viruses. So there is the Zaire Ebola virus, the Sudan virus, Bundibugyo virus, Bombali Thai forest virus, and the Reston Ebola virus.
Wow.
Of these, Zaire, Sudan, and Bundibugyo, I know it's a fun name. Bundibugyo. That's fun. They are the most common known to cause disease in humans. Now, Thai forest virus rarely causes disease in humans. There's really only been like one case. It's able to cause disease in humans, but there's only been one case, and that happened in a lab setting.
The Thai, you say Tide forest?
Thai forest.
Thai forest.
TAI, Thai forest. But yeah, we'll go over them a little more detail. Mostly we're going to go over the ones that infect humans, but I'll give you a little bit of information on the others too.
Okay.
So,
have any of these 6, how many words are hard. Have any of these, some of them infect humans, have any of them over time developed into human viruses?
We're going to talk about that.
I yield the balance of my time to the lady from New Hampshire.
Cooler there.
Right.
Now, Bombali has been found in Angolan free-tailed bats and was first found in Sierra Leone, the Bombali district in that area. And while it can infect human cells, it has not been shown to cause sickness. So you can see it if you test someone for it, but they won't show any symptoms or sickness from it.
Okay.
So the Reston Ebola virus has, like the Bombali, been able to infect human cells, but also been shown to cause illness yet either. So only in primates, it will show illness in primates. And we're going to come to that in just a little bit because there was an issue here in America with the whole Reston Ebola virus where everybody was like, oh God, that there was going to be a huge outbreak, but we'll go over that in a sec. So let's talk about the first known human case. I say known. There may have been others unknown, especially since this virus did show up in like rural areas. So like we're going with what we know.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that there were 2 simultaneous outbreaks, but with them, the Ebola virus was of a different type. So the first to show up was in southern Sudan in July of 1976. The first person we can trace it to was a man nicknamed Mr. U.G., who worked as a storekeeper in a cotton factory in Zara, I think, home of the Zandi peoples.
Okay.
Now, he worked at a desk in a room in the back of the factory where cotton was stored and bats basically roosted in the ceiling above him. Like, this is just
typical
where he lived.
Existence.
Yeah, where he worked.
Yeah.
Now, it has not been proven that these bats were carrying Ebola. So that's, kind of an assumption. The idea is that the infection came from somewhere, such as a rodent, or that he caught it outside of work, or that the bats may have had it. But you wouldn't be able to prove that these bats had it. I think they even tested some of the bats that they found there, and they didn't see it there. So it's like maybe there was a bat and he's not there anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to figure out exactly how he got this. Okay. Anyway, he did not go to a hospital. This is like a rural area too, so it's like I'm not sure where the nearest hospital was for him, but he ended up dying on a cot in his home with blood just escaping from nearly every orifice. I mean, It was bad.
Hemorrhagic fever, if you will.
Yeah, just blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, his family gave him a traditional Zandi burial. But not long after, 2 other workers in that same room were also sick, and they too died after hemorrhaging and going into shock. While Mr. So it's like something like Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not. Mr. UG.
Oh my God.
Rest in peace. I see it's literally YU and then G, and like my brain is carrying on with EO.
100%.
Because my brain does that.
So polite.
Okay. This is why I don't go too many places. Because I risk disrespecting somebody. So.
Dishonor on you.
Dishonor on your cow. Dishonor on your whole family. But he was more introverted. Same.
Felt that.
One of the other cases, who we'll call Mr. PG, was definitely not. He had a lot of friends and mistresses.
Ayo.
And this illness spread among them easily through physical and sexual contact. This illness then found its way to a hospital in the nearby town of Maridi, where it decimated the population of patients and the town just outside of it. Now, at this time, the hospital was run by medical staff using what they had, and what they had was not exactly helpful with disease control. They had 5 syringes that were reused throughout the day, every day.
Oh, man.
They were not sterilized in between either. Even using the same syringe sterilized, or it's just, that's a big no for me anyway. And these days, we have the little, put them in the little sharps box, you get a new one. Or that's just
totally.
But there, it's they don't have access to.
Yeah,
especially at this time, and even now, there are places who don't have access to that. So it's you got to do what you have. So especially when there's diseases like prions that can withstand some sterilization techniques, it's just a no for me. Now these syringes were sometimes rinsed off if there was blood that you could see on them.
Hey, I respect it.
Yeah, so there's that. So you can imagine someone with Ebola comes in, the medical staff has never seen this before, but they're like, well, maybe it's malaria. So they thought the same thing about Marburg, because it was malaria was pretty common, and it's at first it starts with fever, and they're like, maybe it's malaria. That's it's a pretty good assumption at that point. But yeah, or maybe something bacterial, and they start giving out injections of antibiotics, and the needles are not sterilized, and they're used on other patients, and then they get sick, right? It also spread throughout the medical staff as well, which is actually pretty common with such an illness when it enters a place where others are taking care of you. You saw this with COVID as well. A lot of, and then they would be like, oh, well, if you've got it, oh, well, just go back to work, right? Because we don't have any other medical staff.
It was a wild ride. The things we heard, especially as healthcare workers, it was wild. It begs, I wonder how much of, the USAID was in the news a lot, a month or two ago. And I wonder if this is the stuff that they supplied to people out in the bush of Africa or what have you. I've seen some estimates of how many children die per day with some of those programs being completely cut off. It's tough to, I don't know. It's difficult to imagine. It really is.
I think it's not the USAID or whatever. It's the Pediatric Association, the American Pediatric Association, is actually suing Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh, you mean about vaccine recommendations?
Yeah.
Yes, they're suing, and I think many of the professional organizations are banding together. To just basically disregard any,
which is good for them,
Yeah, absolutely. They're they're taking legal action to go with a different clinical standard besides that coming out of the CDC at this point, because now RFK has ruined that.
Yeah, South Carolina just had their first case of measles in a long time. So,
brother, this is a TV show.
Here we are. So they probably don't believe in Ebola either.
I mean,
it's a hoax. Typically though, once it hits hospitals, medical staff, it's pretty common. Medical staff are going to get it no matter how much, precautions you take, especially when it first arrives, because you don't know what this is. You don't know what to use to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Even if it's not something new, like people come in all the time with like MRSA, C. diff, and you've been handling that patient, you've been doing stuff with that patient, and then later it comes back, oh, guess what? You just tested positive for da 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 da, and you're like,
love this.
Great. Awesome. So yeah. So in this, care requires a lot of hands-on contact. So makes sense.
Yeah.
So this particular case, there were 284 infected, and out of these, 151 recorded deaths. Now, the symptoms were very similar to Marburg, though still little was known about it even. Marburg, it's only been, it hasn't even been 67. Yeah, it hasn't.
9 years.
Yeah, it hasn't even been a decade yet. So,
I'm sure that's so funny that Marburg was discovered before Ebola. I've just got more. Ebola is more in my like consciousness than Marburg ever was. That's interesting. I would think it'd be the opposite.
We see it more recent. We've seen Ebola more recently in outbreaks.
Right, with Ebola, sure.
Yeah. So, it's been in the news more, and it's also deadlier. So, yay. The symptoms were very similar to Marburg, though still little was known about Marburg as well, especially to medical workers where this is now breaking out. And even the neurological effects seemed alike. Some patients would run and just tear their clothing. They would be running around naked and bleeding, often right out of the hospital and into the village. Like just, they weren't, all there.
Oh, like encephalopathy.
Somewhat. Yeah. I mean, it was affecting their nervous system as well. So you've got like clotting as well going on and hemorrhaging. So it's affecting the brain as well. It's affecting every organ. And so, yeah. So yeah, they're very confused, very ill. Others became like zombies until they died, just sort of laying there staring off into the middle distance. So
yes, thank you, Ben Stiller.
Yeah, but just basically they would just bleed out in their beds. But it was chaos. The name for the virus comes actually from the nearby Ebola River, as I mentioned, and was seen to have a 50% mortality rate. So double that of the average Marburg virus outbreak. So it's like if 2 people are sick, one of them's going to die. 1 out of 2. That's pretty rough.
That's insane.
Now, the other outbreak occurred right around, or it began in September of 1976 in northern Zaire. This was a place at that point called the Bumba Zone. I'm not sure exactly why. That's just what it was called. This is a region of rainforests, scattered villages, and near basically part of the Ebola River. So now this outbreak got a lot more recognition worldwide, and it basically lit a fire of panic under those who knew anything about virology, which, you would probably panic too. It's it's a pretty rough illness.
Yeah.
Or microbiology or medicine in general. The first known case was in a village school teacher in Yambuku, Zaire, and his name was Mahalo Lokela. I'm not sure how you say his last name, honestly. But he had just gone on holiday visiting some friends and family and other nearby villages. He and a friend had traveled together. They went hunting. Some sources say they stopped by a market where he bought some fresh antelope meat, and his friend had bought a killed monkey. These kind of markets. Now, upon arriving home, his wife stewed the antelope meat up, and he and his family ate it. He began to feel unwell the next morning. So I don't, know for sure whether it was what he ate, like if it was bush meat as a way of transmission, or if it was something else, because he could have just been out in the forests and gotten around something that was able to transmit it to him. This is just some background of the things that occurred before he felt sick. He'd gone out of the village. He'd gone on sort of a holiday to other areas. They did eat some bush meat. They did, go hunting, and they were around some things. So
that's not necessarily contact tracing. No, you're just describing his activity.
Yeah, like it could have came from this. It could have came from that. These are just some possibilities. Like these are just things that occurred before he knew he was sick. So he went to the Yambuku hospital where he was given an injection for malaria, believing his symptoms to line up with such. And like I said, some people might be thinking, oh, it was the meat, because we've heard about like, oh, people eating bats and getting crazy illnesses. And that is a thing. You shouldn't, bush meat can transmit diseases too. Like if someone is infected or like prion infected meat, we've talked about that. Similar things can occur with Ebola or that sort of thing. But like, honestly, if that's the case, then the incubation time for that illness is very quick because he ate it and the next morning he was like sick. Right. So maybe it was, still, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
I should also mention that at this hospital, like the one in South Sudan, only 5 syringes were used every day and weren't sterilized.
Right.
So
you said it's the same as the other clinic you mentioned.
Yeah, this was just, they were working with what they had. It's like working at the VA. Huh? Okay, not that bad. Sorry.
Yeah, like when
look, I worked at the VA and we had to get resourceful back in the day. It felt like living in a place that had no supplies, and it was just like, okay.
We're just 2 healthcare workers here to erode your trust in the medical institutions of the United States of America.
Look, I haven't worked there in a while. This is before all the whistleblower stuff came out about it. And I'd been telling you stuff like that for years. I'd been like, this is going on and this is going on. And it's like, friends and family around us would be like, oh, that's crazy. Ha ha ha. And then like next thing I know, someone's like, did you hear about what's going on at the VA? Like, I have been telling you that story for years. Nobody listens to me.
Yeah, I keep going back to, all of the aid programs that have been shut down.
Yeah.
And I don't keep thinking about them as like, in terms of like American supremacy. I don't think about it like that. I'm thinking about the people who can help in terms of like, global geopolitical issues should be helping. And like what you just described is like exactly why. Like there should be international aid coming in from all sorts of countries who are able to prevent a clinic in Africa from having to use the same 5 syringes. That is unconscionable. Clinically speaking, it is.
Well, a lot of people don't know about it and they want to keep it that way. Because it's like the more people know about it, the more people are going to be like, well, that's not right.
And,
right?
Empathy is a burden, is it not? It really can't. You have to balance yourself between the idealized version of empathy and then what actually happens in the world, and not lose your mental health when you try to reconcile
what
the two.
I do not understand is the idea of the country you live in first.
Of course.
Because it's like, are we not all human?
It's completely random.
I understand if a country is very poor or they're very they're a very new country. They are, and they don't have much to give. I get that. But it's like the amount of money that our country spends on certain things, like it's just the amount of money the politicians in this country have and make and deal with.
Brother.
Like we have, don't we have like the majority of the billionaires in this country?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like we got Muskie Boy. We've got
what a great nickname.
Bezos dude who tried to take over Italy for his wedding. It's just,
and Venice was like, no,
thank you. And it's just
good for you, Venice.
And so I just don't understand the selfishness that goes along with, and I get for some people, maybe it's more of they're in a survivor mentality, I guess, but it's like, even then, like,
it's on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's just abject greed. It's greed without guardrails. There's no one. You can get to a certain amount of money where there's literally no one to stop.
Well, there's also this fear of somebody's going to get it before I do, or somebody's going to get it and I won't. We're going to run out and I'm not going to get any. Me. And it's like,
if you sat on your couch today and never left your house again and never earned another cent, you're going to be fine. It doesn't matter.
I really struggle
They are
with
beyond the concept of money.
Well, I really struggle with the idea of being so against helping people who need it, giving to people, and then those same people, swearing that they hold to values of generosity and love and then they call that patriotic, and I'm like, that just feels wrong.
No.
It feels wrong on so many levels. It feels greedy. It feels it's the most self-righteous people though who are like, no, we shouldn't be giving to these people and da. They don't give anything to us. And I'm like, it's not about getting it back. It's about being decent, being a human being and helping other human beings.
That's right.
Right. And so like, they don't want to watch. They don't want to know the facts about like, oh, they only had 5 syringes. They don't want to know that. And it's like, well, maybe they should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. And it's like,
there's no boots there.
Okay. Like, also, a lot of these people, they didn't choose to be born in a country where hospitals only have 5 syringes.
No. Where you are born is completely random. It's completely random chance where you're born. And so to act as if to have an outsized sense of national pride is conspicuous.
It's very conspicuous. It's a little weird. Like, it's a little weird. And so like, but then when I tell stories about the VA, people are like, that's so horrible. We should be treating our veterans better. But it's like, if you say that about somebody else in another country, well, that's too bad. I can't have empathy for them and them. You know what I mean? I can't like want better for these guys, and because I wanted better for the patients at the VA. We had some great patients, but it was like we had to get so resourceful. We had systems that didn't work. We had to literally call the doctor on the phone one time for a code because the overhead audio wouldn't work. We pushed the button and nothing happened.
And just for the sake of the listeners, a code means somebody is dying. And somebody stopped breathing.
That is, we need things to work in that moment.
One would think, Rebecca.
And
anyways, sorry to digress, but it's for us as healthcare workers.
It bothers me so much to see people just so unempathetic, so uncaring, and so selfish. Anyway, okay, getting off my soapbox. Just and I know not everybody. Obviously, it's like not everybody can give something, but like back to the world. Like
Jeff Bezos can.
Yeah, I mean, like it just feels.
He could give away half of his net worth right now, and he'd never know.
But giving to people is fun in its own way. It is it's nice. It feels nice. It's like, why doesn't he have that?
Well, fair question, my dear. My part of my theory, I'm trying to construct a kind of a self-concept of.
I'm not saying he doesn't have any sort of feelings. I don't know him. I don't know the man.
It seems like he doesn't.
I don't know the man. I really don't. But
I think these people have a different brain, which is why they are absolutely ruthless in so many ways, because they don't experience emotions the same way we do.
In a way, they're neurodivergent, but not like we are.
You said it, I didn't.
But it's like they weren't born that way. It's almost like their brains have rewired according to their values of.
Yeah, it's a combination of nature and nurture, but they are also.
Well, some are born into money, and so that's what they
definitely born into money. But like a guy like, we're talking about Jeff Bezos. Bezos is lucky. That's it. He's lucky. He started Amazon.
I remember when Amazon just sold books.
Yeah. Amazon was like selling books. We've all seen that photo of him in that crappy looking office with that crappy looking banner that says Amazon.com. That was the extent of Amazon at that moment. He's lucky. He's lucky he was born where he was born. He's lucky that he perceived the internet to be a revolutionary tool as far as commerce goes.
I still know who needs that much money.
But so did him and 250,000 other entrepreneurs at the exact same time.
Who needs that much money?
Well, Anyways,
what do you do? What are you doing
wax
with that
eloquent.
much? What are you doing? Why are you trying to buy
space.
Venice for your wedding?
You go to space. Nothing, no other product makes sense except going to space. You literally have to spend $1 billion. It reminds me of that rich couple on TikTok. Sweetie, I don't want to go to space.
I like space, but I'm fine where I'm at.
Space is great. Let's observe it
from up there.
Let's observe it from
by
the
a
ground.
telescope.
Right. So anyway, Ebola.
I'm sorry. It just
so many philosophical things get dug up when you talk about, outbreaks of disease.
They're going to space and people are dying because there's only 5 syringes. I mean, I'm sure there's probably, this is back in 1976, but I mean, not that much has changed, unfortunately.
Come on, man.
It's like, sure, we have given them, there is some help coming from different parts of the world. And we'll mention some like different countries, giving aid to these people, but it's.
And I'll mention this and then I'll move on. But the American Revolution does not succeed without the inoculation of the Continental Army from smallpox. Just so you know, what is now an easily preventable illness could have stopped the American Revolution dead in its tracks.
Yeah,
that's what outbreaks of disease can do or not do.
George Washington had a decision to make, and he made it, and it very well could have saved their future there. So,
and here we are.
And because the Brits had already gone through smallpox, most of them were immune already. It was killing American soldiers a lot. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back to Ebola. I just had to. It just.
Sometimes you got to get some stuff out of your system.
It's it's that justice. Like. Okay, 5 syringes. Sounds like a good band name if you think about it. So yeah, they were using 5 syringes every day. These weren't sterilized. At best, they occasionally rinsed these needles, in a pan of warm water to get the blood off. Sometimes they didn't even do that. So Mr. Lokela might have received his shot after someone else who had Ebola, and we just don't know what happened to the other guy. So he could have gotten it. That he could have had something else originally, gotten a shot for, say, malaria, and then that's how he got Ebola. Does that make sense? We don't quite know exactly how he ended up with it.
Right.
Now, I mentioned earlier that this was a different strain of Ebola than that in Sudan. This one was actually deadlier and would be known as Zaire Ebola virus. Am I saying that right? Zaire?
Yes. Is it Zaire?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zaire.
I feel like I don't know. I'm used to saying things wrong. I have like speech trauma. Is that a thing? Can you have speech trauma?
I don't know.
So it blew up in like 55 villages surrounding this hospital. Okay. It was infecting people likely from contamination via injections, and then those infected taking it home to their families. And of course, they're not going to know this is contaminating people until people start breaking out with this illness, right? Like, they're just giving the shots, doing their daily thing, and then boom, total virus time bomb.
Yeah.
Just blows up. So yeah, it's also important to remember that burial rituals are a big deal in many of these cultures, and they involve a lot of hands-on contact. There's a lot of like spirituality behind it, a lot of, love and care and preparing that body of a loved one,
A lot of chances for more contact.
Yeah. So, and yeah, before the actual burial. So the medical staff were also falling to the disease. I mentioned when, earlier, this happens a lot when you see these kind of viruses break out, because you've got medical staff who don't know. We don't know that this is going around until it's, it's grown. And then you also are not sure how it's being transmitted because this is something new. And so it's like, they don't know how it's spread. So if you walk in there and you're like, it's contact and you're not wearing any kind of PPE, and you've got a cut or something, or you've got, or you, lift your hand to your face. Now it killed most of the nurses and then the Belgian nuns there. There was like groups of Belgian nuns helping in these hospitals.
Wow.
One of those nuns was actually a midwife who had caught it after delivering a stillborn baby to a mother with the virus. Oh, wow. So the virus can be transmitted to the fetus in utero killing them and then causing spontaneous abortions.
Wow, dude.
The mother died of the illness as well. It's a brutal illness.
Yeah.
Mm. And with both mother and baby having it, and there's a lot of bleeding with this illness.
Mm-hmm. It's gruesome.
The scene was quite gruesome, and blood got onto this nun, likely into the smallest of cuts even. She was dead in 5 days from Ebola herself. And I'm guessing too, like if they don't have like a supply of needles where they can, actually do things safely with that, I doubt they have a whole lot of gloves and stuff going around.
No.
Consistently, at least.
Yeah. So, and honestly, what is this, the mid-70s?
Yeah, mid to late 70s.
I mean, germ theory is really not that old. And it seems it's going to be...
Especially in this part of the world.
Of course. Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah. It's not a...
We've also got, like, cultures, too, who are probably very deep into their own mythology about, illness and...
Right. The witch doctors, the whole enfolding of spirituality with medicine, etc.
Because you see that with India too sometimes. Like if you go in the rural areas, and I know we've talked about that with some different poisons as well. Now, I mentioned the symptoms of Ebola again. They're similar to Marburg. Those with this strain experience increased intensity and speed with Ebola Zaire.
Right.
It attacks every organ and tissue in the body, apart from the skeletal muscles and bones. Like Marburg, it causes clotting, and then it causes hemorrhaging as the body runs out of those clotting factors. It can't make new ones because it's basically destroyed your liver and your other organs. Now the clotting is very severe, and parts of the body are shut off from oxygen because the venous system is just blocked. This leads to tissue death in the brain, kidneys, liver, lungs, intestines, testicles, breast tissue, and men and women. Men have breast tissue too. Men can get breast cancer.
It's true.
It's rare, but it can happen. Also the skin. The virus loves collagen. And
well, good thing there's none of that in the human body. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. Now, I mean, keep tanning and you won't have much left.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, it multiplies in the collagen. It just loves it there. And it basically turns it to mush. So you've got the underlayers of skin dying, liquefying. So it's like just your skin is like...
It's dissolving you into organic soup. That's what it's doing.
You'll often see petechiae, which is like these little red... There's like your capillaries are popping. Red spots, blisters, sort of a maculopapular rash, if you will. It's just sort of blistery.
Say that again.
Maculopapular rash.
Oh,
that's the scientific word for it. It's like a rash. It's like with blisters, red spots, things like that.
Rebecca,
oh my God,
there are people watching.
Then comes the bruising and spontaneous skin tears. The collagen is gone, so your skin is not strong. It's just
breaking down.
Yeah, so it's
mercy,
and you're going to bleed through that too. So the bleeding starts coming from everywhere: the mouth, gums, salivary glands, eyes, tear glands. You can cry blood.
How do people survive?
Nose.
How?
Luck.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Because, and you'll see, like, too, when we go over like treatment for this, it's just supportive care, treatment of symptoms. Now, if you're in a really good hospital, you have obviously a better chance because they can, they have things like, breathing machines, ventilators. They have just things that can keep you physically alive, hopefully until your body starts to recover. If it does, if it doesn't, then it doesn't. It's kind of like with like people living here who, when they caught COVID and it affected them seriously, there were places here we had like ventilators, and you'll remember that we were running out of ventilators. Like the world was running out of ventilators, right?
It was wild.
ECMO machines. I don't know how that would work for this particular, because like you're trying to get like an IV or something in, and it's just blood coming out everywhere. You can't, like the blood vessels, all of it's
they're
sort of
breaking
liquefying.
down.
So it's like,
Yeah,
how do you do that?
You're being disintegrated.
So,
mercy.
Yeah, it's luck, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The clotting often leads to congestion of the blood vessels, leading to the brain, causing stroke. Then you could also have a hemorrhagic stroke if you start bleeding in the brain. So it like
both ways.
It can also happen with the other organs: liver, kidneys, spleen. The mucous membranes basically slough off of like the tongue, tissues of the throat, the gut, the intestines. You can like aspirate or end up
There's 37
swallowing.
different ways to die.
Like you're literally like you're being skinned from the inside out. I'm like, sorry.
I saw your hand a second ago. Like is that coffee? What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Did you show the camera? She's like, raise it up. You're not in the shot. Her hand is like it's vibrating.
It might just because I got mad about the whole people not caring about people.
Is that right?
Could be. I get
like
mad.
That'll be residual for you. Like it'll.
Oh yeah, I'll be thinking about it for a long time.
Okay.
I'm good though. I'm fine. I'm chill.
Yeah, you seem okay.
I'm chill. I took my meds. So yeah, you'll sometimes see these purged out with other fluids, vomited up. Okay, so you see hematemesis, just throwing up blood. Hematuria, this is blood in your urine, tarry stools.
All of the hemas are applicable.
Bloody stools. So the vessels and organs are clogged with clots. Blood is hemorrhaging out, filling spaces like the intestines, the eyes. You can go blind. The heart also hemorrhages into itself.
This is bad news.
Yeah, if this isn't horrifying enough, the brain is further affected even more so than the Marburg virus, and the patient can actually experience grand mal seizures during the final stages of illness. The entire body twitches and jerks, sending blood everywhere because you're bleeding at the same time. And many of the rooms in the hospital would be just shut up because staff were too afraid to clean the walls and floors. Right.
Good Lord.
The patient of these hemorrhagic illnesses is basically bled by this virus almost to be a transport system to another host, if you think about it.
That's right.
So it's like, and the seizures are making it go further. It almost feels like it's doing this on purpose to get to other people. It's weird. Also, like Marburg, the virus favors the testicles.
Okay.
And likely the eyes as well. It can cause devastation there as well, like destroy them. But remember, it is an immune privileged site, so it's like not going to have as much help.
What a fun fact.
Down there. Looking at blood collected as a sample, you can literally tell something's wrong with it. It just doesn't look like blood anymore. Like there's like the red blood cells die, they're destroyed. It just looks,
it's visibly different.
It looks liquidy. Yeah, it just doesn't look like blood. It almost looks like
it's thinned way out.
Yeah. It's basically a death from the inside out.
Well, I say we cut the funding.
Now, as more nuns succumb to the virus, the doctors still able to treat patients decided to do something called an agonal biopsy. And this
agony is right.
Yeah, it's an agonal biopsy. It's basically a rapid sampling of tissue done close to death. So a lot of these nuns were a group that prohibited autopsy, like just based on religion, I suppose.
Oh no.
So this would be the next best thing to figure out what was going on. Like they were trying to respect these nuns, values there, while also do the next best thing on figuring out what was going on because they don't know what this is.
So you guys want to build a commune here and you want to help with the medical care, but you don't want us to figure out what's going on.
Well, I mean, they didn't see this coming, I'm sure.
And I'm familiar with agonal breathing.
Yeah.
And that's a near-death event as well. So that with the terminology makes sense.
Also, if you don't like needles, trigger warning, you might want to skip ahead.
Okay.
They would take a needle, insert it into the liver. It's a long needle, and pull a sample up, basically. They also took
without anesthesia.
Well, No.
Not that they would know.
They would yeah, they would.
Wait, you're talking about after expiration? They're still alive.
They're still alive, just barely.
Yeah.
And so they would also get samples of blood in some tubes that they can get and send it off to Belgium and to the microbiological research establishment at Portman Down in Wiltshire.
Seal that box.
Yeah. Now, a nurse that had taken care of one of the nuns that had died began to feel unwell a few days after she had passed. The nun did. And she basically went into panic mode. She was only 20 years old, and she had future plans to go to Europe for college, which she had received this scholarship for. And so, like, you know, she's scared, right? She's young, and she's like, this isn't good. Mm-hmm. So instead of going to work at the hospital the next day, she actually went into the city of Zaire, which is full of people, to get travel papers straight at the foreign ministry. She felt worse the day after this and decided to go to the larger hospital in Kinshasa. This is called the Mama Yimo Hospital, or it was then. I'm not sure if it's called that now. Mm-hmm. They just gave her basically a shot for malaria.
It's totally mimicking
it's what malaria. Because like they're like, we don't know what else this could be, and they're probably limited on supplies there too, even. Mm-hmm. But she knew something else was up. She'd been seeing all this other stuff. How could she not know something was up? So she got a taxi to the university hospital after this, but they couldn't find anything wrong with her outside of the reported symptoms of like a bad headache and stomach ache. Finally, she went back to her work hospital where they admitted her, likely because they know her history with the other patient and what's going on there. And you can imagine like if you've ever worked in healthcare and you've been around somebody who had a major illness, and then you're like, I was around that person quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And then you start to feel kind of icky, and you're like, oh God, you know.
This is the big one.
And so like, now in her case, obviously this is, but like in
sometimes
any case,
catastrophize.
In any case, like you can get just anxious. Mm-hmm. Anyway, basically it's there. She worsens, and unfortunately she eventually dies of Ebola. Yeah. Now, it was at this point that word of this illness began to reach government officials and diplomats and officials in Europe, which of course meant it soon reached the World Health Organization as well. So there's this deadly hemorrhagic fever of unknown origin. We don't know yet how it spreads. And also an infected nurse might have carried it around the capital city of Zaire, which is a population of 2 million people, for about 2 days. So doesn't sound good. Now, the leader of Zaire at the time, he closed the city off, set up guards at the hospital in Yambuku Hospital, where like all this is sort of breaking out, with orders not to let anyone leave or enter unless they were doctors. Meanwhile, a CDC doctor asked for some of the blood sent to England. So like the CDC here in Atlanta, Georgia, was asking for it. Yeah. Because they're like, hey, we want to try to figure this out too. Mm-hmm. And when it got there, also the tubes were broken in shipping, by the way. Not cool for this situation. It was thoroughly examined under an electron microscope by Frederick A. Murphy. He's a virologist who had actually helped to identify Marburg. And when he saw what they were working with, he freaked, and he called the director, whose name was Carl Johnson. He was like, you need to come see this, like, now.
Brother. Did you send me a picture?
I did, and you should bring it up because it's...
Let us bring it up. Look at that little beauty. Mm-hmm. It looks like Mickey Mouse.
Disney? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Disney. Don't sue me.
Is this why they can keep releasing crappy live-action remakes of their animated classics and everybody loves it?
Now, look, I do love some Pixar, though. Those Pixar movies always get the tears going for me.
I knew nobody asked for a live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch.
Actually, that was a good one, except for, they did go off a little bit with some characters, but I love some Lilo and Stitch, so.
How could you not have Bubbles? Come on. The social worker.
He was in it.
He was in it?
Cobra Bubbles.
I don't like it.
But in a different, mm-hmm.
I refuse to see it.
It was cute.
We're getting off the subject.
It was cute. It had its issues, but it was cute. It was cuter than some of the other ones. I couldn't watch Mulan because I was like, they're not going to have, my favorite song Let's get down to business.
They just need another. Yes.
The Huns.
Come on, guys. Y'all just need something to show the shareholders. That's what you're doing.
And I get like Mulan is more than just the cartoon. The story was around way before.
Yeah, but come
Disney got a hold of it. But then like, no, Mushu, I like Mushu. Is there
something that millennials hold near and dear that won't be ruined by the time we retire? Like everything has been ruined.
They did take Star Wars.
The economy, vaccines, our favorite movies from when we were kids. Anyways, I digress.
And shows.
All right. Let's stay focused. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I feel us digressing.
Yeah. After he called and was like, you need to get up here now, he went and sanitized the crap out of the lab. When this Marburg-like virus did not respond to any of the tests for Marburg, however, they realized this is a new agent, and Dr. Carl Johnson named it Ebola because it was found first in that area. Yeah. A lot of times, some viruses are named after where they first show up. So like Marburg, we first sort of saw it. The world first saw it kind of in Marburg, Germany, even though it didn't originate there. Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like,
yeah.
And then they were able to sort of identify like the Sudan and Zaire, like the difference between those two, like, because you call them strains, viruses. So the Bundibugyo strain showed up first in the Bundibugyo district of Uganda in 2007. It is similar to the first two we've already discussed, but the mortality rate is a bit lower. Still not great though. It's like 40%. Still awful. There were 56 cases there. This was in 2007, and 17 of them died. This strain showed up again in 2012 in a smaller outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Thai forest strain first showed up in 1994 during a viral hemorrhagic fever episodic among Western chimpanzees in Thai National Park. This was on the Ivory Coast. Côte d'Ivoire. Is that how you say it? Côte d'Ivoire.
Wow.
I said French. Okay. That's okay. As more dead Western chimpanzees were discovered, many test positive for infection with an Ebola virus distinct from those already known. So, and I'm talking about the chimpanzees in this. They would test positive, but not for an Ebola virus that was known. Now, one of the scientists performing the necropsies on these infected Western chimpanzees actually contracted the virus, the Thai forest, and she developed symptoms similar to those of dengue fever. We'll talk about that one when we talk about mosquitoes.
I've heard of that, yeah.
There's like fever, headache, vomiting, muscle and joint pains. I want to say, is that bone break fever? Maybe bone break fever. They call it that.
Do they really? Never knew
dengue
that.
Because of the pain it causes. It feels like your bones are breaking.
Does it really?
It's not fun.
I did not know that.
We'll talk about that one later, though. Yeah.
Okay.
But she developed these symptoms about a week after the necropsy. A necropsy is just an autopsy on animals.
Yeah, I figured that from the etymology of the word. It sounded like biopsy, but it's necropsy, so
or autopsy.
Just after death. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And basically she was transported to Switzerland for treatment. She was discharged from hospital after 2 weeks. She fully recovered 6 weeks after the infection. She's the only human who has come down with that particular version of the Ebola virus, or that particular Ebola virus.
The only one.
Wow. But now the monkeys have had it, so humans can be infected with it. It seems like it's a bit milder, although not fun to have still, but we don't know that much about it in humans. So.
Oh, fun fact. Cambodia just reported their first human case of bird flu. Been one.
But was it from a bird?
Don't know. It was the bird flu, though.
Yeah. The worst thing that could happen with that one is it starts spreading from human to human. That's what we don't want to happen.
I can't do this. That's
again. What we don't want to happen. So that's why we tried. But that's the reason why you limit it from occurring ever in humans if you can. I mean, I know it's kind of impossible at this point, but like.
Well, the main thing,
take precautions to limit that so it doesn't mutate and jump.
Of course. Thankfully, the U.S. has not cut any funding for scientific or epidemiological research, so everything's going to be fine. Thank you for listening to this episode of Our Health Anxiety.
I'm going to need help saying this. Is it a macaw? Is that a monkey?
Yeah.
Macaws? Macaques? Macaques?
Macau? How do you...
Macaqueus.
Say it again?
Macaqueus.
I don't know.
Look it up.
Nasak, the French, the people who speak French out there, let us know.
I don't like monkeys. Freak me out.
Send us a DM where you go on an absolute tirade in French.
Hang on.
Send us a voice message to the podcast Instagram.
Macaques.
Okay. I don't know. I want to hear a native French speaker say it. Or somebody who's fluent.
The Reston strain, or the Reston Ebola virus, gave Americans a scare because it was discovered in 1989 in these monkeys, these macaques. These monkeys were sent from the Philippines to Reston, Virginia, at the Hazelton's Research Products Primate Quarantine Unit.
Okay.
My hand is still shaking.
A primate quarantine unit.
Primate quarantine unit.
So they really are the primate garbage police.
I mean, yeah, it's basically where basically animals are kept here and later sold for lab testing. So they probably get them, make sure there's nothing wrong with them in quarantine, and then sell them off that way. These monkeys died. It was discovered that it was due to Ebola virus. Initial testing showed it to be the Zaire Ebola virus, which has the greatest death rate. And so everyone was scared, and for good reason. 4 workers at the research center actually tested positive for the virus, but they never became sick.
That's crazy.
Now
How did they avoid that?
This was also a time when they were still concerned that Ebola could be airborne. We didn't know yet if it was or wasn't.
Oh, that's the first question you answer.
Well, because it's been happening in other places, and with limited resources and limited researchers on the ground, a lot of people didn't want to even, once they heard it was Marburg, a lot of people didn't even want to touch that research wise. Okay.
Fair.
And so some people did, but it's it takes time to learn about viruses like this too, when you only see them in rural areas in places like Uganda and places like that. So, but for it to just sort of show up here in America, I'm sure they were okay, we need to figure this out. Those in direct contact with the animals developed antibodies, but no sickness. So they will test positive for it, but it doesn't act like the Ebola viruses that have caused sickness in humans.
Okay.
Now, concerning a history of outbreaks, I will just mention that the largest recorded was in West Africa between March of 2014 and June of 2016. It's 2 years long outbreaks. This was the Zaire Ebola virus. It started in Guinea, then spread to Sierra Leone and Liberia. Over the course of the epidemic, the disease spread to 7 additional countries, including Italy, Mali, Nigeria, Senegal, Spain, and the UK, and the US, actually. Secondary infections occurred as well in Italy, Mali, Nigeria, and in the US.
I remember that. I remember hearing about a nurse.
Secondary meaning it passed to somebody else through contact of some
from
sort.
A person. I remember hearing about somebody who was infected that refused to quarantine. I don't know if that was true or not, but in the States.
Cool. I mean, we're seeing that with measles too.
Sure.
Yay. It was finally considered over in June of 2016. More than 28,600 people had been infected during this outbreak, and 11,325 died. So the most recent outbreak occurred between September of 2022 and it ended in January of 2023 and was caused by the Sudan Ebola virus. There were 164 cases and 77 deaths in that outbreak. That was just a few years ago, 2023. And you may have been to the doctor or the hospital or whatever, and they would have asked you, hey, have you recently been to Africa or West Africa or have you recently been on a trip to Africa? I don't know if you remember getting those questions when you go to the doctor. And a lot of it was to make sure that the spread was kept under check.
Yep.
Because they would basically be you need to like quarantine or do something to make sure that you have not contracted Ebola virus, because if it were to get out of hand,
if you don't mind stepping into this broom closet while I call the CDC right now.
Get out my face. No. Now it is, as I mentioned, it is spread via contact with bodily fluids, any bodily fluids. So, I mean, and it's like the ring. It wants to be found.
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's like it's sentient evil.
A lot of viruses feel that way, though. We mentioned this also with Marburg, but basically it is also a biosafety level 4 virus. It is considered one of the most hot viruses, and by hot I don't mean a good thing.
Yeah, extremely contagious and
dangerous. Yeah. So only basically the U.S. Army of Medical Research Institute for Infectious Diseases and the CDC,
which is closed,
and the CDC
in
Atlanta, Georgia, are the only places able to handle biosafety level 4 viruses. And to be able to go into one of these level 4 hot suites that contains life, like if there's active infection happening, like within an animal in there too, you basically have to strip naked. You put on surgical scrubs, then you put on a spacesuit, you pull the helmet down over your head, and you close the suit. You close it.
It's completely airlocked.
And then you enter this airlock space after that. And then it's covered in biohazard symbols. So, like, you can't say, "Oh, I didn't know there was something bad in there."
What that says?
I don't know what that is. Before being able to enter into where the virus or infected life forms are. And so it's taken very seriously.
Yeah.
It's a strange illness too.
We're here to make your health anxiety worse.
Yay.
Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
I mean, the World Health Organization doesn't think it will end up like, the one thing about this virus is it kills people so quickly that it runs its course through. I mean, it'll decimate a village or a community,
right.
and then just disappear back into.
Yeah, it's almost like an evolutionary misstep. It's so good at infection and so good at, depleting the host.
Yeah, and it's not the first virus to be like that, but it basically, it'll decimate a community and then just not go anywhere else. But a lot of times these communities are rural, and so like you don't have a whole lot of people getting close and sharing bodily fluids with lots of other people.
Totally, they're self-contained communities. They have to be.
Now, if it were airborne, it would be a different story, because you would have, like when we talked about Marburg last week with Charles Monet, he had been on that plane, and now he had been vomiting. There had been some fluids and stuff, but it is a little bit, obviously it's harder to get fluid to fluid than it is air to air. So it's like, at least there's that. But yeah, that's Ebola. I was like, I think that's as much detail as I'll go into, because I'm pretty sure it's a rough one. And there's a lot of, it is relatively new still compared to like other illnesses, obviously, or other viruses.
From the mid 60s.
Yeah.
That's
very new compared to something like smallpox or
60 years ago at this point.
Yeah. So like, whereas like smallpox and
Spanish flu,
rabies and all these things. Well, Spanish flu, I don't even know if that strain is still around anymore. So
yeah,
I don't think it is.
Well, after 100 years, that would make sense.
Yeah. It didn't last very long, but we'll have to talk about that one too. Sure. Anyway, but that's what I have for Ebola.
Fantastic.
Ebola.
Lesson learned.
Don't call it. Go away, Ebola.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening and watching this episode. That's going to do it for this one. We will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.